Self-doubt is probably one of my absolute biggest enemies, especially to my levels of consistency. Back at the beginning of the year, and I don't think I made a video about this, but I had goals and plans. We're now at the end of July, so we are over the halfway mark for any resolutions that we made at the beginning of January. And at the beginning of January, I had two main business goals. One of them was a monetary figure for my author career, and one of them was to monetize my channel. And things have been going fine, and I have been working on them. I wanted to have a little talk and a little update about them today. So, hi, my name's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're brand new. It's probably going to be maybe a little bit of a ramble, I'm not sure. So, I am, as I've said, my own worst enemy with self-doubt. I will do things and start to do things, and then I will watch content or consume content or something that's similar to mine, and then compare myself and always, absolutely always, go down on myself about it. And if I found someone who is behind me in their journey, I don't seem to gravitate towards consuming that content. I tend to go to the stuff of the people that are ahead of me and then compare myself and deem myself a failure and then not do the things I want. And it's a really bad habit, and it's kind of why I'm making this video. So I had been to the SPS live show in June. I made a video about it, I'll link it for you to go and watch, and I was talking about how inspirational it was and how I wanted to level up my author career, and jokingly I named this project to myself Be More Steve, purely because I took the inspiration from the author Steve Hicks. He did a great talk at the SPS conference. I saw him talk last year at the 20 Books conference, and I also followed his journey in the 20 Books to 50k Facebook group. I can remember right back at the beginning of his publishing career when he earned his first $100, and then to now he earns over $1 million a year. And it was a kind of a joke that happened when we were all drinking at the party at the SPS conference in June, where basically it was Be More Steve. Basically it's talking about he knows what he wants and he goes for it, and that was the idea about my project for myself, because I know what I want, and at the beginning of every year I set goals as to what I want, and then I start off strong and then I kind of meander, and this is all down to me. It's my mindset, it's my self-doubt, and I'm really good at planning what I want to do and starting ahead on my plans. What I am terrible at is then investigating what other people are doing, comparing myself and going, well, I'm not doing this right, and getting into this overwhelmed headspace with myself. And then because I do that, I stop doing what I was doing on the path to my own goals and just completely being inconsistent, getting a mess, and then I get to the end of the year and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. In fact, I probably have lost sight of what I actually wanted at the beginning of the year. And so I have decided, well, I was doing it on my Facebook page, that I was sharing weekly updates of my progress, what I'm trying to do to Be More Steve. I'm going to rename it. It's Project Me and my author career, and the things I want to do to level up my author career to get it to a better income level than it is now. It's not a bad income level. I'm not, I am a full-time author, but I want to go from having to watch my figures every month to think, do I have enough money for my bills? Do I have enough money to survive? To a lot more confidence in everything. And I have so many mindset shifts I need to make. And the idea of this video series that I am going to make, and I really, really want to do updates every week, but the problem is I know what I'm like. I get in my own way. If I do these updates every week, I'll go and watch someone else do their updates, or I'll get to next week when it's my update time and then think, why does anybody care? And this is one of my favourite recent reads. It's called Share Your Work by Austin Kleon, and I recommended this to a writer chat group that I'm part of, and they absolutely love it. And they love the concept of it, and basically it is about sharing your journey with the world, and the people that will be interested in it will find you. And it isn't about kind of trying to make yourself famous or anything like that. It's literally being authentic and sharing your work and things like that. And that's what I kind of need to remember, and not this horrible shift I get myself in. So I've been posting for the last 2 to 3 weeks on my Facebook page about what I've been doing to level up my author career, how it's going. And I was watching a YouTube video that's completely unrelated to writing, where she was talking about a goal, and and she was updating every week, and it was great. And she had a goal and she stuck to it. And I thought it would be really cool to document my journey on my YouTube channel. And I, at the beginning of the year, renamed this channel The Productive Writer, because when I've told you this is a ramble, it's all over the place, I'm really sorry. When I have watched things about how to have a YouTube channel, they always talk about having a niche. And so I thought, well, I really love talking about writing and productivity in writing. It was one of my favourite things. I am a high-level learner and achiever, so these things all tap into my personality, and that was great. And then I thought, what if I just go back to using my name? Because I actually want my channel to be 1, all about me, and 2, all about writing, and 3, all about my writing journey. And all those encompass the productivity. So I have changed my name this morning back to just my name, and I'm going to just focus on my writing career, helping other writers, and all the things that it encompasses, to be all the things that come into being Rachel the writer. So I've decided to try and do a weekly update video about my progress of leveling up my author career. I've gone such a long way of saying that. And I want to try and promise myself that I'm going to do this every week, and I'm not going to let that little voice get into my head and tell me nobody's interested, because at the end of the day it doesn't matter if nobody's interested. This is for me, and it would be obviously really cool if people are joining me along the way and cheering me on, and also maybe taking lessons from me and learning with me as well, because everything is a learning process and we don't know everything about being an author and the indie author career. So this is my goal for this series of videos, is to come on here and talk about me leveling up my author career to getting it to a place of where I want it, and sharing that journey with you to maybe help you to maybe help me, and just create a community around it, and to not let self-doubt get in my brain, because that is really annoying. So just gonna read off my phone, so I apologise if I look down. So when I made my original post at the beginning of July, my goal was to raise myself up a level on my earnings and to focus my career back into doing that. So this ties into my 2024 goal. I have a specific figure that I want to earn for the year, and it's not millions, you know, we all love millions, but at the end of the day, really what we want to earn is an amount that is comfortable for us to live on. Like, I would say no one wants to be a millionaire. I'm sure we do want to be a millionaire, and you know, if £1 million was to come my way, I'm not going to say no to it, but it's not my goal. My goal is to have a sustainable income that I am not worrying about month in, month out. And I am sure it's going to have peaks and troughs and go up and down, but as an average, I want it to be along a certain line. And so I have an income goal for the year, and which means I have a kind of income goal for the month, and I have myself at a certain level of earning. So this is where my Project Me author career comes in with the things I want to do. So based on listening to Sarah Cannon talk about goals and your path and where do you want to go and the steps to get there, I made a list of things that I need to do. So I'll read them to you. It is read the 7-figure fiction author Universal Fantasies by Theodora Taylor. It's a really good book. I read it a long time ago. Oh, a long time ago. It's not been out that long. But I read it when she first brought it out. I want to read it again. It talks about layering the butter to your books. If you don't know what that means, I suggest you go and read that book. It's only a quick read, but there's so much information about it and so much stuff that I actually forgot to have. The other one was to retake the Matt Holmes Facebook adverts course. I want to retake it because Facebook updated and he re-recorded the whole course. So there's new things to do on that. I wanted to read Help My Facebook Ad Sucks by Mallory Cooper, version 3. I read the second version whenever that came out. Then I wanted to obviously write my heart out, because that is one of the things. I've got to write the books to sell them, and push all the other rubbish aside and stop worrying about everything. And that's going to be easier said than done. Get consistent on TikTok is one of my goals, because when I am consistent on TikTok, I do see a slight raise on my views, but I am such a self-sabotager. I will do well on TikTok, I will get into a system with it, my sales will start to go up, and then I'll just stop posting, and the sales will go down, and then I'll get annoyed myself, and it's crazy and annoying, and it's all me. So then I have like lots of mini projects I need to do. So it's clean up my book pages, because some of them, when you used to do paperbacks, they were originally done on CreateSpace, and then we moved over to Amazon, and when they moved over, the descriptions of the books came into chunks. Some of my descriptions are outdated. Some of the covers, I have new covers and I've not uploaded them. Yeah, it's just a mess, and it's been it's a mess, not because I did anything wrong, but because I haven't kept up with the updates of the way Amazon has kept its pages updated. So whenever it's made changes, I have not made the changes to match. And so, you know, some of my books don't have A+ content. Some of them have got really chunky book descriptions. They all need fixing. Things like the back matter in my books need updating because I've published more books and they're unlisted. I've changed my mailing list. So there's things like I need to go and update my mailing list link in the books because they've got my old one. Yeah, so that is a list of things I set for myself with the view to raise my author career. And I've been doing that so I originally set that out on the 1st of July, as I record this, it's the 22nd of July, so we're 3 weeks later. So I have been doing all of that, and I'll just update you as to where I am today. So I have almost finished reading Seven Figure Fiction by Theodora Taylor. It's really good. I'm reading it very slowly because I want to really take it in. I have almost finished listening to Matt Holmes's course, and I got it to a point where I could launch my first ad. So this is where it's interesting. I'm not going to give you my actual monetary figures. I'm just going to give you a percentage because the actual amount of money is all relative to you, but the percentage is something we can all talk about. So I have figures here. So at the beginning of July I had no adverts at all running. I turned them off because in June they were old adverts, they just were rubbish, they were not performing, I was hemorrhaging money, it was pointless. So for the first week of June I had no adverts and I took a slight bit of a dip on my income just because of this, because I literally had nothing telling anybody my books were there. And it took me about a week to listen to Matt's course and then to launch my first advert. So week 1, kind of normal baseline sales. Week 2, so this is the whole of week 2 with 1 advert. So I have 5 series under 2 different pen names. So if you go and look at my name, you're going to find all my books and then you're going to wonder what the heck I'm talking about. So I have 2 pen names and there's 5 series in total. So I looked at which is my normal best-selling series. So I went with that one, and then which is my second best-selling series. So one series is a vampire series and one series is a werewolf series. So I decided I was going to play with both of those. So for the Facebook ad through Matt Taylor course, I decided I'm going to focus on my vampire series. So week 1 of July, no adverts at all. Nothing going to it. Week 2, I did 1 advert following everything that Matt Holmes had said. Did I call him Matt Taylor before? I apologise if I did. That's me mixing Theodora Taylor and Matt Holmes up. Matt Holmes' course. So following Matt Holmes' course, I set off my first ad on the 8th of July and have let it run as per his instructions for his course. I am not affiliated with him by any means, by the way. It's not an affiliated thing, it's just the course I'm using. And I saw an increase in my sales at 143.72% based on the first week of July. Fantastic. Ads work. I let that carry on as it was. I then used the week to read some more of the Theodora Taylor book and to do some more of Matt's course. Now, last week, this is me that's stupid, so I set a limit on my Facebook ad spend. Not on the actual ad itself, but on the account. Just because I didn't want to get to the end of the month where I get this massive bill for my Facebook ads that I can't afford. So I set it at a limit, and when it hits a limit, my ads turn off. It will not go over that amount. So that is what I'd done. Daft me didn't monitor this for a couple of days, and those happened to be the couple of days where I reached the limit. And so for 2 days of last week, my ads were not serving because I'd hit the limit. So I was very annoyed. And I went and reset it. And it was really annoying as well because the day before my ads turned off, I had the highest sales day of the month. And then my ads turned off. And I could throttle myself. So it's building up again, but I turned them back on. So for the 3rd week, in a comparison to the 1st week, I still had an increase in sales because I did have ads running for 5 of those 7 days. And it was 123.45% higher than my 1st week of July with no ads. Still an amazing result. However, the difference between week 2 and week 3 is week 3 was 8% less than week 2. That was just because I lost two days worth of ads. We won't be doing that again. So I thought I would compare this time June to July because I still had ads running last month in June. I turned them off probably around about just near the end of June. They did run for too long. They were profitable, but they weren't mega profitable. So bearing in mind, for the first week of July I had no adverts, but the first 3 weeks of June I did have adverts, if that makes sense. So this is comparing the first 3 weeks of June to the first 3 weeks of July. June had adverts every single day running. July, for this time period, had a whole week missing, and then the 2 days where it stopped. So essentially only half the adverts. However, the difference in the income is for July, I am 36.05% higher in sales than I was this time last month. So that is good. I'm happy with that increase. The other thing I'm doing, and I've not checked the stats for this, but I'll do it next week, is I'm not keeping my experiments for the same book. So my Facebook ad books have been my vampire book, and then my werewolf book is being on TikTok, because I want to see how the different systems will help promote it. And for TikTok, I have been pretty consistent, posting at least one video a day. I think I've maybe missed one day, and I know there has been a little bit of an increase on my werewolf book, but I haven't actually run the numbers. I will try and run the numbers for you for next week to see how that does, because I have been reading the Theodora Taylor book, and I want to put into place some of the things she talks about in that into my TikTok videos to see how that increases sales or engagement, or, you know, gives me some movement. But that is the update 3 weeks into July on the Project Me leveling up my author career. And I want to make sure I show up every week for this series. So before I go, actually, if you have any questions for me about this, or even any advice and tip that you might have to help me level up my author career, feel free to share them down in the comments. I would love a conversation about this. I know I'm not the only one trying to level myself up, and we can all learn together, and that would be really cool. But until now, I'm going to go, and I will see you next week, and I will update you as to how my week's gone and the things Bye for now.